everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got some really crucial news to share with you. More on the Wikileaks front, who has been releasing emails in the buttloads, but lots of new information. And I've got my little friend here, Diesel. Say hi, Diesel. Hi. He's my new shorty bull, baby boy. And he is a cutie pie. So he wanted to come on and say hi to you guys. But with the depth of the information that we're going to be sharing in regards to WikiLeaks, I think this is something that absolutely could ruin the Hillary campaign. And right now we need all the support we can get on Donald Trump's front. At least, I don't agree with everything the man says. However, I know if Hillary gets in charge of that office or anyone else, we're in deep trouble. There will likely not be YouTubers like me or other right, so to speak, or conservative leaning websites out there. And obviously it would be a slow boil. But nonetheless, let's delve into those emails. All right, so the first WikiLeaks email, Bombshell reports that these are, I want to show you here, is an email which was sent by the Democratic National Committee official, Donna Brazile, and she gave the Clinton campaign communications director, Jennifer Palmier, a question ahead of the debate. That's cheating, downright cheating. But you can see Jay Palmier and Donna Brazile here, and the subject line, from time to time I get questions in advance, but this one says, specifically in regards to the death penalty, saying that there's going to be a question about the death penalty held in advance. And so here's just a little information that they correspond in, as far as the death penalty is concerned. So that's just downright cheating. Now, in front of you, there is another email, and this is from conservative writer, or a proclaimed conservative writer, Louise Mensch, and excuse me if I butcher her name, but it is from her, and she's the one that basically came up with the slogan, "I'm with her," all the while claiming to be, conservative. And you can see here, it's "Our Time, I'm with her," and then fade to the banner, Hillary Clinton 2016. And you can see "Best regards, Louise Mensch," right here. A reported conservative writer, obviously, in correspondence with the left. Moving on to the next one here. This is direct correspondence again. We have Jennifer Palmier and John Podesta in the email, but this is regards to New York Times, which means they've had correspondence with the New York Times, and it just kind of says, the tide is changing, good work on the press shop. Cummings is as helpful as AP. I do think that if Hillary doesn't speak to this today, people will assume she's guilty. She is guilty of a lot, by the way. But nonetheless, this is showing that they have correspondence with the New York Times and AP. There's many more on this as well. All right, so moving on, here is an email report from New York Times member, and this is one of many, please keep in mind, Mark Lebovic, who agreed to remove, in a direct correspondence email, Clinton campaign's request to cut Sarah Palin joke from the interview. Let me show you the top here, because it's kind of a big one, but you can see Jennifer Palmier, John Podesta, and in regards, and from... you could see New York Times, Mark Lebovic. Again, excuse me if I butcher that, but they're going back and forth about a bunch of things. And scrolling down a little bit, about almost towards the end, they said, with everything that's going on, there's some new stuff about Sarah Palin. Then it goes, it's fine to use the moose joke, but we would appreciate leaving the mention of Sarah Palin out. And guess what? They did exactly that. They wanted that out of the interview, and thus it was removed. Here's another shocking one, and I find this absolutely intriguing. But this one says that they knew Tim Kaine was going to be Hillary Clinton's VP pick back in 2015. Won't stop assuring Brown and hit camp at dinner now that the HRA has personally told me that Tim Kaine, he's the Veep. And this is in 2015, before she even became an official nominee. By the way, they've been stealing it they stole it all from Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is well aware of that. Why he continues to stand with her, I guess is above and beyond me. Now, probably one of the most, I would say, disturbing ones is this report right here. Now, this is on 100% Fed Up, but it's also on the Wikileaks file. But this is an email sent by, John Podesta, specifically in regards or in correspondence, with Billy Ivey on March 13th. It was sent to John Podesta by former Clinton Administrator Bill Ivey on March 13th, 2016. Now, what does this say? Well, we all thought the big problem for our U.S. democracy was Citizens United, Koch brothers, big money in politics. Silly us. Turns out that money isn't all that important if you can conflate entertainment with the electoral process. Trump masters TV so-called news picks up and repeats to death this opinionated blowhard and his harebrained ideas. Free-floating discontent attaches to a seemingly strong man, and we're off and running. JFK Jr. would be delighted by all this, and his George magazine saw celebrity politics coming. The magazine struggled as it was ahead of its time, but now looks prescient. George, of course, played the development pretty lightly, basically for charm and gossip like people. But what we are dealing with now is dead serious. How does this get handled in the general? Secretary Clinton is not an entertainer, and she shouldn't be leading this country, and not a celebrity in the Trump Kardashian mold. What she can do to offset this? I'm certain the poll-directed insiders are sure things will default to policy as soon as the conventions are over, but I think not. Here's the very important part. As I have mentioned, we've all been quite content to demean government. Okay, they're doing it on purpose to demean government. Okay, that is their strategy, but they really don't mean to do that. Okay, there's an agenda. But moving on further to even more gruesome part. Drop civics and in general conspire to produce. Conspire. They are planning and conspiring ahead of time to do this. Okay, an unaware and compliant citizenry. They want you to be unaware and uncompliant, but then they go on and say you are, basically. The unawareness of the American public, that's you, your unawareness, my unawareness, remains strong. But our compliance is obviously fading rapidly. This problem demands some serious thinking and not just poll-driven, demographically inspired messages. It demands, they say, it demands a response. I don't know about you, but that should tick off every American citizen to tell us that they've purposely made us, the words here, unaware. They are making us unaware, fluoride in the water and everything else, and not only unaware, but compliant. And they say, well, we're still unaware idiots. That's what the Democratic Bill Ivey and everybody else over there on the Hillary camp is calling us. Unaware. Unawareness. But our compliance is fading, which means we're not so going along with the left's agenda now, are we, Hillary? No, hell not, we're not. And anyone who hears this video is going to wake up, and Wikileaks, I hope and pray, and they're going to continue to release these bombshells, and I'm going to continue to bring them to you first and foremost because they are important. But there it is in your face. Please send this to any Hillary supporter because they are calling everyone not only unaware, but not compliant as they want them, not going along with their agenda. That should tick everybody off. Here's another one. This goes through an entire correspondence, but this is from Doug, President Clinton to Cheryl Mills. But basically, in this particular report, Bill Clinton's behavior pushes a woman of the Clinton Foundation, was Clinton Foundation chief, to near suicide. Last night, Laura Graham called me as she couldn't reach my brother or her shrink. She was on Staten Island in her car, parked a few feet from the water's edge with her foot on the gas pedal and the car in the park. She called me to tell me the stress of all this. office crap with WJC and CVC, as well as that of her family had driven her to the edge, so she couldn't take it anymore. Bill Clinton's crap. I spent a while trying to prevent her from committing suicide. And yada, yada, yada. The stress has gotten to her, and the stress of work, and the stress of Bill Clinton's crap. Well, anyone who is with the Clintons, I can imagine, is probably near what Laura Graham did. But that's not all. Here's another email that was leaked directly between longtime Clinton advisor who calls Chelsea Clinton, well, a spoiled little brat. You can see, let me show you the line here, who it's from and to, but it says, because she didn't want to go along with, the corruption that her father and mother were forcing her to do. And she said, hey, this is illegal activity and it's against law. What's going on here? Well, in response, she got called a spoiled little brat. She's acting like a spoiled brat kid who has nothing else to do but create issues to justify what she's doing because she, as she has said, hasn't found her way and has a lack of focus in her life. Well, anyone who grows up with the Clintons, I can definitely see why they might have a lack of focus in their life. But moving up a little bit, I kind of want to, I should have read, more on the whole thing. But here you can see we need to get this ASAP to them. Although I'm sure CVC won't believe it to be true, but because she doesn't want to, even though the facts speak for themselves. John, I would appreciate your information on this. And they also say, if this story gets out, we're screwed. Well, you're pretty much already screwed. But it goes on to say, our business has pretty much nothing to do with the Clinton Foundation, the fund, our fund clients who we do restructuring and M&A advising the same, just as, they're kind of PC here, but Morgan Stanley. So anyway, when you read the direct correspondence, what they're asking to do shouldn't have even been asked in the first place, but because she's a spoiled little brat and didn't follow their obligations, that was how it went. Now, moving on here, all these leaks can be found on Twitter here with Wikileaks. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't get into. Here's one, HRC versus Clinton Cash. Communications directors tells HRC, we got a few stories placed. We are also leaking to the press. Okay, again, New York Times correspondence. Here is your New York Times stories. There's a bunch of these that are correspondence with the mainstream media. This is why Donald Trump is consistently saying, hey, look, these things are rigged. More information is coming out that, to show that they are rigged. Here is Hillary Clinton, Goldman Sachs paid speech transcripts excerpts. Lovely thing there, and there's some stuff on the missile defense, but I didn't want to get into every dot and tittle. I got into the ones that I thought were even more of a bombshells, but you can see another one here. Clinton's secret paid speech to bank. My dream is a hemispheric common market with open trade and open borders. Now, why would they push open trade and open borders? Because they don't believe in America. They believe in a new world order. And just something to think about, in that last debate, Donald Trump had a pin on his garment of American flag, but Hillary Clinton did not at all. So there you have it. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on that information. These WikiLeaks emails need to go viral because chances are you may not have heard about one of those. And the best thing that I like to do here on my channel is show you the actual email so you can read it. Everything will be linked below so you can send it to anyone who is on the fence about Hillary Clinton and the corruption that she is pushing on a daily basis. Because look, here's the bottom line. To call anyone unaware, okay, to call our whole society unaware, not only unaware, but compliant, and say they need to do more and step on the pedal, so to speak, to get the ball rolling to make people more compliant to the left, well, that's a big problem. She should not even be allowed in office, yet here she is running for office. And look, I know Donald Trump says a lot of crazy things out there, but he is not groomed from birth, like people like Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, the Bushes, all of them were screwed up, even, and obviously Obama, all of them are groomed from birth to be puppets for the globalists. And look, anything Hillary says about, I'm going to tax the rich, and that's just crap. It's not going to help the economy, number one. But in addition to that, keep in mind, she exempts all her big buddies that have been donating to her for awesome times. And I often see, I went into a store the other day, they had the Hillary Clinton toilet paper, but they also had the Trump toilet paper, and it just had Hillary's face, and then the Trump toilet paper said, I'm a rich goon, or something to that. And I'm like, hello, do people not think Hillary's rich? She's richer than rich. The woman stole money from Haiti, and that came out by the former president of the Senate in Haiti years ago during the major earthquake years ago. Google it, look it up, I'll leave a link. But he came out asking Donald Trump to expose that they only gave him 2% of the funds. That woman is richer than rich. She's just as rich. So there's obviously an agenda going on here, and one that they want to keep you uneducated about. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning into my channel, and please don't forget to check out my sponsors, www.getthetea.com. He's got fabulous supplements and products, all kinds of things that I personally take. One of my favorites there is what's called D365. Great stuff. For those of you who are on the go, you work, you're busy, and you don't have time to make tea or to do the whole entire, program where it's going to cleanse your body, get on the D365. That stuff will cleanse you out, and it's not over the top, so you're not like running to the bathroom all the time. But man, yeah. That stuff, it works, and it's really good for people on the go, and I've heard nothing but really amazing things about it. So get the D365. Also, a newer partner of mine is Prodovite. I'm going to leave information on it below, but I'll put my member ID so you can check out the member ID there. But the Prodovite is really awesome. It's if you have any blood issues or major infections in your body, these are things that are going to absolutely help cleanse the blood and impurities, and it really helps all the supplements and vitamins that you're taking get into your bloodstream. Great stuff. So check out the Prodovite. Also, there is foodforliberty.com/haven. Make sure you are prepped and ready to go. There is a scientist that recently came out saying, hey, everybody needs to be prepared because we're so unstable. And one thing I forgot to show you, I'm going to push it up on the screen here, but I think it's important. And it's Russian officials and deputies advised to return the children and parents to come home. He tells, if you're abroad and you're out in another country, you need to send them home. That means crap's going to hit the fan with Russia. And if he's calling for his people to come home, I'm going to leave links on this too, then that means we're in dire straits here, folks. So make sure you are prepped and ready to go and prepared in case Hillary does get in. Because I'll say this, if Hillary Clinton does get into office, we could more than likely, be going to war with Russia. And that's a big issue. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on all of this. Thanks again for tuning in to my channel here and meeting my new little guy. Say hi. Say bye-bye, little man. Say bye-bye. He's a shorty bull. Bye. Bye. You're so tired. He's very tired. Bye-bye.